You know what would be good, actually, is to, at some point, maybe just kind of like to see a load of your actors.
Welcome everybody to episode 58 of WatchRoss, the one where, in the words of Adele, we're chasing pavements.
Just keep chasing pavements.
Here we are, everybody, in the park. The sun is shining. It's a ridiculously beautiful, hot day, and the flags are cracking. But that's not the only, it's terrible, isn't it? Not the only tenuous link to the word pavement that I used a minute ago. The reason we are chasing pavements today is because our guest for an exclusive ActsOnThis.tv podcast that we're going to record in about 10 minutes time is none other than director and filmmaker Jason Wingard, an incredible guy whose latest film is called Pavement. It's a brilliant film around homelessness, stars Steve Everts. Lots of people from the ActsOnThis.tv community, actually. Shout out to you, John Bullich, Richard Hand, countless other people. For the last few weeks, the reason I wanted to get Jason on is for the last few weeks, I've been recording podcasts with actors who have been creating their own work. I'm hugely bullish on this. I think every actor should be doing their own thing, creating their own work, not waiting for the photo ring, waiting for their agent to do all the work for them. We've had some brilliant guests on recently. Phil Barantini was on talking about his film that he recently made with Stephen Graham. We had Liam Collins on talking about his film My Toughest Battle, all about depression. We had the boys from Underwater on a couple of weeks ago. That's Jay Consol's film. He plays Billy Fletcher in Emmerdale. He's still creating his own work. And I think it's an amazing thing to do. But I've had a lot of actors who have been reaching out and they're like, look, I still don't feel ready to do this. I understand I should be creating my own stuff, but I'm not confident enough to do it. I'm new to the industry. I've not had enough experience yet. I wouldn't know where to start. And they still want to get involved with other people's stuff. Now, Jason is a director who not only doesn't wait for the photo ring himself and creates his own work, but he's a guy who goes out and finds actors to work with. And a lot of actors who are looking for their first break in the industry. I've seen him work with a lot of new actors and do incredible things with them. I met him back in 2011, just after he won Virgin Media Shorts Film Festival for a film that he made called 220. It was just 2 minutes and 20 seconds long, and it cost £100 to produce. He won £30,000 from winning that film festival, so he knows what he's doing. He had a cinema release, Eaten by Lions, a fantastic film that came out in cinemas this April, just gone, 2019. Stars some amazing people: Jack Carroll, Johnny Vegas, Antonio Akil, Asim Chowdhury. Hilarious. Like, you can get it on iTunes now and Amazon. Go watch it, it's amazing. So this guy really knows what he's doing, and his latest film, Pavement, looks like it's going to be another incredible smash. The crowdfunder for Pavement, because this is how he's funding this film right now, is still open for another 12 days as we film this. So we're going to be talking to Jason about how you can support the cause, how he works with actors, how he casts his films, ultimately how you can get involved with future projects, because this guy, telling you, is going places. So we're going to go back to the apartment. There's going to be sweltering pitch. We're going to stay here for a little bit, get a bit of sunshine. And we're going to set up and hopefully deliver some absolute fire for you guys. I did Google, Petch, what chasing pavements means, by the way, just as you were setting up. Apparently it means hopeless endeavour. I really hope this podcast isn't that. Let's go.
Jason Wingard, welcome back to ActsOnThis.tv. 8 years after we recorded our first podcast. How are you?
I'm very good. It's good, isn't it? Because, we're both still working.
Yes, we are. I mean, that's a good sign. The site is still existing. It's still in existence. Mate, your work has just gone from strength to strength. Like, I've seen so much over the years. I've kind of lurked in the shadows. We've been Facebook friends probably since we did that last podcast. And I've just kept tabs on everything you're doing. And then 8 years later, I'm like, right, it's time. It's time to get him back on. Those who are listening now, you can't hear the podcast that I did with Jace in 2011, but because it's not on the site anymore, it's not even in the archives. It's a little bit old, but I've got a 60-second clip. Jason, do you want to go back in time?
Well, yeah, let's hear it.
We're going to hear it. Now, this is interesting. I recorded this podcast with Jason on Skype. in 2011. I think you'd just been to get your tea from the chippy. You're eating it, I think, in this clip. I can hear you taking it out of the plastic bag.
Very good. Yeah, you've got a pro.
But you know what? Like, I love doing this sort of stuff because people are going to be able to see the journey that like this whole kind of podcasting thing for me, you know, what I've been on. And I'm all about starting almost before you're ready. So many people, and you'll probably see this all the time as well in your world as a director, they're so afraid of stepping out initially for fear of what other people are going to think of them. Like, oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm not a pro yet. You know, I'm kind of like, what are people going to think of me? They're going to judge me. I'm not good enough. We didn't care back in the day. I'm sure you didn't when you first started filmmaking. And this is us. This is, I think, the very first 60 seconds of the podcast. Let's listen.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. I'm intrigued of how you can turn such a small amount of money into something massive. I mean, firstly, congratulations on your win at Virgin Media Shorts.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the film that bagged you the grand prize then, and did it really cost you £1.75 to make?
Well, yeah, don't believe everything you read. First of all, no, actually, everybody worked for free.
There's your dinner
on the film, so nobody was getting paid anything. But I did buy refreshments and obviously things like that. So I probably spent about £100 on it, to be honest. But I think the press got hold of that £1.75 thing and thought, okay, we'll run with this angle. And where that came from was that there was a woman who kept walking into shot, and she was starting on the actors and saying, why don't you use real homeless people?
Oh, my word.
And then started on one of the cameramen, and I asked her to move out of shot. And she said, well, give us £1.75 and I'll go. And so I gave her £1.75 and she went, and that's basically it. She got paid more than anyone.
She did.
That was the first we were talking in that. That was like the first minute of that podcast. We were talking about obviously the film that you just won Virgin Media Shorts with, 220, a film that was 2 minutes and 20 seconds long.
That's right. Imaginative title, eh?
So, yeah, but mate, it was super impactful as well, wasn't it? Tell people, for those who just have no clue what we're talking about, obviously weren't around in 2011 on this site, like, just give them a little synopsis of what that film was about, because it was
it's
packed a punch.
It's about a guy who's outside a shisha bar at 2:20 in the morning, and he gets a text from his girlfriend, and then this woman comes over with a pair of glasses. The glasses she gives him allow him to see how long people have got left to live, and he looks in his reflection, realizes that he's got about 10 seconds left, and then he sees her again and gets run over by the bus that his girlfriend's on. That's the premise of the thing. But it was always about death, you know, kind of like the idea for us on that particular one was to go and make sure that we knew that was just purely visual. There was no dialogue at all.
Yeah.
So for 2 minutes, stuff like that can work, you know, get a bit of intrigue. And yeah, it was a nice little short, and it probably put us in front of people from that there London.
The reason that I kind of, was so keen to get you back on, multiple reasons, but obviously right now you are in the middle of creating this new film, Pavement, which I've seen a lot of online. Eaten by Lions, which was a previous film that you did that got a cinema release early this year and is now available on iTunes. And where else is it? Amazon
and Sky have got it for a year. I think BBC take it after that. So, it's that's great, that's obviously the ultimate dream for everybody.
Because that's massive, and it looks hilarious.
Well, we've been talking about adoption.
Good, innit, Omar? Thank you.
No, we just meant Pete.
I think I'm gonna go find my dad. Gran knew where he was all along. She just never let on.
Where you going then? India?
No. Blackpool.
I feel you're not just here for fun, I feel you've come on a mission.
And I think this is going to be a very special moment for you.
I feel guilty that I doubted you.
You mustn't worry. I just Googled Malik Chowdhury, Blackpool.
What I'm hearing is, where's my dad? Where's my dad? He's not here, is he?
What's up, fam?
You hand it over, nice and slow.
I love you, Gran! Seen that? Electronic prayer mat. Hey, look. Got lights.
I don't want your money.
No, I know, but it's like for you to get some decent clobber, because you look like a freak right now.
Strong, sexy.
Those are my middle names.
Sometimes people say death means change. Today you're alive and well, and that might change.
which one of you randy little reprobates has deflowered my lotus flower and got my niece up the duff?
We haven't. Did you know about me?
I swear down, I did not know that you even existed. If I did, I would have done the right thing, bro. Moved to Karachi or something.
It's fun.
Me and Petch were watching all the trailers and stuff for it this morning, all the press around it getting the release on Amazon and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, like how did I not go and see this film? Because the cinema release was how big was that in terms of how many cinemas did it go in?
Well, we had 100 cinemas nationwide, so had a decent rollout.
We had no excuse, Petch. We've just been terrible friends.
No, but it's one of those things that often with independent films, you blink, you miss them, and the release is critical.
Yeah,
and you try to compete with stuff that's got massive marketing budgets. So I think like Shazam was all over the buses at that point,
right?
Know?
Okay.
So we, this is what we were up against, and we're a tiny little British independent film, and we learned a lot along the way of actually how to do stuff and how to market stuff, and that's much like you've been learning on the podcast along the way, and I've been learning about the short films, and then you get your thing released. That making the film is only half of the battle.
Oh, it is. Oh my god, it so is. Like even on a tiny scale, when we record this podcast and I go and edit it, and we do the vlog alongside it. You can't sit back once you've done it and pat yourself on the back and go, oh, it's we'll have a fantastic product at the end of it. But like that's where the work begins. Actually, posting this out on social media, getting it to people, emailing it to everybody, getting eyes on, even on the tiniest scale where I'm looking at 10,000 actors in a community, is like a lot of work. When you've got a cinema release, you're like, right, how we've got this great film. How I distribute it, I mean, I don't even know where you kind of begin on that.
Well, it's really tough. I mean, and we learned the hard way with the 2 features that we did that, actually the wrong model is to make them and then try and sell them.
Right.
It's a buyer's market. There's lots of films out there and there's lots of reasons for people to say, no, you should have your deal in place for distribution beforehand if need, in the ideal world. But we made them and we've got them out, and I'm going to have a copy in my hand within a week, I guess.
A DVD?
A DVD, yeah.
Nice.
So,
Everyone listening, Eaten by Lions, get on Amazon, stream it, but buy the DVD as well. Support Jason. So let's talk then about, I'm really intrigued to hear all about Pavement. It comes back actually, in that little clip we played before, you mentioned a homeless woman. This is all around homelessness. Steve Evetts is the lead. There's a few people in the Acts on This community who are involved with it. Richard Hand, I've seen, is involved with it. John Bullich.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. Tell us about the story if you're happy to do that. Like, don't give us any spoilers, but what it's about, where the idea came from.
Well, actually, I came up with the idea for a short film competition, which was run in connection with a church called The Pitch. So a few years ago, I entered it for Enter the Pitch. And actually, they came back and have supported us as well further down the line, because I think they always thought it was a good idea. I misjudged that it was actually a pitching competition, though, and I'm not a great pitcher. So let's say the pitch didn't go terribly well. But the idea always stuck with me.
You did something right, yeah.
Well, no, I always thought that the film was a good idea. And the story, it's a really simple story. It's like a modern day parable of a homeless guy who's outside of a bank and they want to move him on. And he's saying, I can't move. And when they pull the sleeping bag back, they see that the pavement's grown over his legs.
Wow.
And so then it's how they treat him. And obviously, the worse he gets treated, the more he sinks into the pavement. And that's it. It's just a really simple metaphor for homelessness.
Yep.
And also how people recover from once they're in those situations. And you'd have to be kind of blind not to have seen the rise in homelessness and how many people are on the streets at the moment. And it's appalling, really. People keep talking about being the 5th richest nation in the world. Why there's that many homeless people there? Can't all be for one reason or another.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that need to be done about it. But rather than make a film that preaches about that, I thought I'd present it in a different way, an entertaining way, and then let people reflect, which I think is always a better way of doing it.
You are one guy who I see probably more than anybody in this industry, particularly, as I say, I've stalked you on Facebook for many years, who is so open to getting actors, particularly who are quite new to the industry, involved in projects.
Well, it's interesting. A lot of the people that came back, not just on the cast side, but on crew as well, who'd come back and said, I'll do something for you because you gave me my first break, and
Right.
and so you build a loyalty, don't you, with people and a relationship with them. And so now it's quite easy, really. If I want to go and make something, I've got hundreds of people that I can call on.
I see the minute you put a Facebook post out going, guys, I need 2 people for this weekend, like you just get like dozens and dozens and dozens of comments going, I'm free, mate.
Yeah, there's people who want to do stuff. But it's interesting because on this one, we were talking earlier, weren't we, about we've got a little bit of a budget, but not enough. We're trying to make like a 60, 70 grand short, essentially, on 15, 20 grand.
Right.
So what it meant was that we could pay our lead actors and the actors that were coming in, but we couldn't pay the crew. And my thinking on it was that I can get the crew back in to pay them on a different job further down the line. I'll have some paid work and I can bring them in.
And this is on Pavement.
Yeah, this is on Pavement. But with the actors, you're not gonna, how often do your casting type might come up once, twice, you know what I mean, in 10 years or something.
Yeah.
So you can't guarantee the actors that. And so we made sure that we paid the actors. Which is a nice situation to be in.
It's almost the other way around in most films. It's like, right, we can pay all the crew because we need to pay for kit and equipment and all that sort of stuff. But actors, you have to work for free and your pay is the footage.
As far as kind of like creating your own work goes, I think that, yes, there is an increasing, basically technology is making it that way.
Absolutely. Levels the playing field on it a bit.
Yeah, definitely. So people can just go out and make their own thing. But and I always used to think and kind of think about actors and think, God, they've got to wait for the phone to ring, really. And that's a frustrating situation to be in for lots of people. So lots of people are doing one-man shows or various other things, or venturing out into blogs and podcasts and doing short films, which is great. Yeah, which is fantastic. Because I think that by doing that, you're being proactive and you're going to meet lots of different people in the industry and you create opportunities for yourself. Essentially, you'd be networking without knowing that you're networking.
That's honestly, when I do a live broadcast every Monday night on Facebook now, and I was just talking last night. An actress put a question to me, and she said, "Listen, where else can I find opportunities that aren't on?" She's just starting off, so she's using sites like Mandy.com and Star Now, these sites that you can apply for castings when you're just starting off in the industry. It's not like Spotlight where you need to have a certain amount of credits to get on Spotlight and that sort of stuff. So they're much more open. And she was like, where else can I get opportunities? And I was like, well, it depends what you're classing as an opportunity, because for me, all of my opportunities and what I see as opportunities are very much these relationships, in terms of I feel that life and any success within it is all predicated on relationships, and your success in any area of your life is. And that's certainly, it's certainly been my experience in my own acting career. So, doing this, you do obviously meet people, you become friends with people, that brings up opportunities. But just in terms of meeting people in the industry, it's been easier than ever now because of social media. People slate social media as a thing like, oh, it's terrible, it's affecting everybody's mental health. For me, it's an incredible tool for, getting your work out there, showing it, meeting people. The amount of people I've had on podcasts who I've reached out to on Twitter and direct messaged them, and they've said, yeah, and I would never have got through to them if I had to go through their agent.
Yeah, I mean, I get messages all the time with people that I end up working with, I'll check their work out, and I'll check, actors as well as composers and DPs and loads of different things. So, it's great. And also that reach immediately is amazing, isn't it, on social media?
Absolutely.
Of course, you've got to put with the other stuff as well, but that's kind of part and parcel.
In terms of people who do want to work with you, and I know, we've said it's best to kind of go through knocking the mic over. Go through casting directors, reach out to those.
It is, but you know what? If someone sends me a message, I always reply.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I mean. I see you doing this all the time. Just what advice would you have for people who are like, how they can help you? Maybe, you kind of, like you said, you aren't going to be making anything that's got a part ready for them, but how else can people, help you and just ultimately, become part of the team, I guess?
I think send stuff through. Send your stuff. You need to get on people's radar, don't they?
Definitely.
You know what would be good actually is to at some point maybe just kind of like to see a load of your actors, just to kind of just run. I mean, we used to do this, me and a friend of mine called Gino Evans, who's
Gino was the guy you did 220 with, wasn't he?
No, Gino did Bus Baby with me.
Oh, did he?
So yeah, but Gino's actually he's out and directing again. I think he's not going to be. So Yeah, and we used to regularly just go and see people. We haven't got anything in mind, but we're seeing something. So maybe I might start setting up some just auditions so I can just get people on my radar.
Do it. I mean, I do a monthly meetup first Saturday of every month at Home Theatre. I know the guys at home really well. I'm sure they give us a space if you wanted to run some kind of
maybe you should do that with
workshop.
Maybe 2 or 3 directors, just do director workshops, and we can see, it's build the bridge.
Exactly, I am the bridge.
There you go, everybody. You've just seen a couple of clips from the what is like an epic podcast once again with Jason Wingard. Not done a podcast since 2011. How was that for you? All right?
Yeah, it was great. And it's nice to see you in the flesh this time.
Yeah, we're not just doing this on Skype. If you want to get access to the full podcast, get yourself over to atsonthis.tv right now. Grab your membership. You'll get access to literally dozens of other podcasts, videos, live broadcasts, weekly training with some incredible minds in the acting industry. There was just a couple of points I want to expand on there, Jace, exclusively for the vlog. This isn't in the podcast. You were talking in the podcast, though, about an actress recently who will remain nameless. We won't give anything away. Who had massively changed your opinion of her as an actress in terms of going from who you would think was maybe a supporting role kind of actress to, wow, this person is ready to kind of take off and proper lead material. There's going to be a lot of actors who are watching this who feel that maybe there's directors like you or casting directors out there who haven't had that opportunity to show maybe their full ability. Maybe this actress always had this within her, but she just not had the opportunity to show it. So, do you want to just expand on that? And, maybe, we can kind of inspire people to get out there and show that side of themselves, be vulnerable if they've not done it yet in the industry.
Yeah, I think that we were just discussing there. I think that often actors will go into castings and feel that they come out and feel that director's not seen me yet. They don't know what I can do. And I suppose, I got to see this from a showcase, a one-person show, which is designed, I suppose, to show everything that you can do. And actually, I went to see 2 of these. I went to see one in Edinburgh as well recently with an actress, and hers was very similar. So I already knew her range of what she can do by seeing her one-woman show. So when she came up in a casting recently and somebody quizzed me and said, is she right for it? I was like, I've got every confidence that she can do this. I'm not worried at all. And sometimes because you've only got a short space of time in a casting, it's very, very difficult, isn't it? And so you've got the director who's got an opinion if they've seen you already. You've got a casting agent who's already putting you up for certain things, and already things are starting to get narrowed. And so it's really difficult, isn't it, to just kind of in that short space of time to kind of to show everything. Having said that, the really good actors can do that, but it could be a learning curve. So I'm not quite sure on how you achieve it. A showcase specifically for you is a great thing to do. I think that's a great thing, thing that people should be trying to do. But other than that, I'm not sure how you achieve it. But for certain, it is this performer's vulnerability that I saw, which made me think, wow, there's such a bigger range for this person than I previously thought.
Yeah, no, I agree. I know from my own experience, there's been times where, in my earlier years, I'm not that old now, but in my earlier 20s, I was guarded about certain things in my life, and I think that came into performances, and I wasn't vulnerable, and I wasn't able to kind of show those flaws that I have as a human being in my performances and stuff. And I think vulnerability, again, I'll emphasize it, is really, really powerful. I think vulnerability is one of the most powerful attributes we can have as human beings, because then people begin to relate.
From a director's point of view, you've got a very limited amount of time, and we talked briefly on the podcast about it, about having a note, having to hit it, because things are pressured on set. And I always say with directors in particular, if you've got a project, let's say for Pavement, for example, this is something that I've spent 8 years with, thinking about, going through it in my mind. For everybody else who comes in, they're in and they go off to another job. Or an actor, they come in, they do it, then they go off to another job. For me, this is something that I've been thinking about, ruminating, for a long, long time. So it's vital that you get or even those smaller roles right, you know.
Yep, definitely. No, honestly, yeah, to wrap up, I just think anybody who's watching, I know there's going to be at least one person watching right now who has been like held back by something burdening them within themselves, something that they've never shown the world, and it could be the unlock to something hugely within their performance as an actor, and it could just be that thing that if they show and they're brave enough and can get the courage to show a director like yourself, a casting director, put stuff out, make your own work, whack it out on social media, it could ultimately be the thing that, you know, has happened to like that actress that you said, you know, puts her in a completely different league. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Like I say, get over to the main website and check out the full podcast. It's another cracker. Social media is up on screen right now. As this vlog goes out, there'll be a few days left of Jason's crowdfunder on Indiegogo for Pavement. Please, if you can spare even like a couple of quid, get on there, support the cause. Eaten by Lions as well. Jason's other film has just come out on DVD. It's out on Amazon, iTunes. Stream it, support the cause again. And yeah, get out there and be vulnerable. We'll be back. We'll be back with another vlog sometime next week, I imagine, Petch. We're putting out a lot of bloody content at the moment, Jason. Telling you that. Any final message before we sign off?
Yeah, there's just a final message, which was kind of like really for, you know, we were talking about casting agents, and there's lots of different people who are influencers, and you know that they're going to be influenced, and so people will talk to me, often casting directors, they won't say it, but they'll kind of like talk to me about a certain performer, and they'll have an opinion, but I always shut that out. I always have my own opinion, you know, but it's just to know that you're always on, basically, your relationship with the casting director all the way through to the director. Anybody can be an influencer. Yep. So, you know, just be aware of that, really, I suppose, and enjoy yourself.
Definitely. Enjoy yourself, be vulnerable, and bloody enjoy yourself. Jace, we do a little countdown, a little 3, 2, 1, and my catchphrase is bye for now. So I'm going to ask you in 3, 2, 1 to look at the camera, and we're both going to shout bye for now. It's ridiculous, that's what we do. Right. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time in 3, 2, 1. Bye for now. Thank you so much for watching this episode. It really would mean the world to me if you would leave a comment telling me what you enjoyed and what you would like to see more of next time. If you want to catch more episodes, head over to facebook.com/WatchRoss or youtube.com/WatchRoss. Make sure you subscribe and turn your notifications on. I'll be back real soon. Bye for now. It's one more car, then I'm going to go. 2 more cars, then I'm going to go. Here we go, you ready?